All right, so here I am in PicMonkey, and I'm gonna make a collage for the painting project. And I started out with a free trial and used my Google account with the school, so I'm sure you could go ahead and do the same thing. Now, some things are gonna look different for you for a couple of reasons. One thing is that I'm using a Mac, and you may not be using a Mac. The other thing is that um, your Google Classroom and Google Drives may look different from mine, and also. Um, just in general, I may be using the computer in a little bit different ways. So just try to follow along with me as best you can. We'll try to make it work. So what I want to do first is go up to create new, and it's going to give me a drop down menu. And I want to select collage from here. And then it's going to give me some options for different sizes and proportions depending on which app I'm going to use, etc. But I want to go up to the custom part up here. And we're going to make a 4-inch by 3-inch collage. So we want to make something that has the same proportions, 4 by 3. So because they're using pixels here, we're going to change this to 4,000 pixels by 3,000 pixels and make the collage. So it's going to give me this template here. And this template is going to be broken up into a couple different sections. Now, they give you other options over here. I just want to go with something really plain so I have some freedom to kind of play around a little bit. So I got my big blank rectangle. Now, you'll notice a few things. If you look at the bottom of the screen here, it has this little like pile that looks almost like a sandwich, but if you roll over it, it says layers. So you can make layers here, and that is really helpful. And you can redo and undo whatever you are creating, etc. So for now, I'm just going to go and get some images. So you go up here to photos and video and click on that. It's going to give you stock photos. So if you want to play around with that first, you can. But I'm going to go to add photo or video, and it's going to give me some more options. And one of them is Google Drive. Go to Google Drive, and hopefully for you, it'll give you Classroom as one of the options. And if that's the case, then click on that. Otherwise, you might have to download your pictures to your computer or whatever. I'm sure you'll figure out a way. But find the Drawing and Painting 2021 Google Classroom and click on that, and it'll give you a bunch of different folders. The one of the most recent should be Image Collection for Pop Art. If you click on that, you should be seeing all the images that you guys chose earlier on. So I'm going to choose one that will be a good background. I don't know if you remember today during class, I was making the collage built by hand. And I started by making a background that kind of filled up the whole space. And that way I could layer other photos on top of it. And one of you, I'm not sure who, had found this picture of the TikTok logo on another background. And I liked that it was kind of like a little bit simple, but also had some blending in the back. So I'm going to use that as my background. So I'm going to just click on that and open it. And it's going to put it into my collage space. Now, you can move things around to get them to fit a little bit better. It can sometimes be a little bit picky and a little bit laggy, but that might also be my computer and my internet connection. Who knows? So I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit so it fills the background. And I also chose to put the TikTok logo in an area that sort of corresponds with the rule of thirds, so that I have that composition that is nice to look at and keeps things interesting. So now I need to put some other stuff on there. So I'm going to go back into add photo or video and take a look again in Google Drive and do the same process again. I tried to see if I could open multiple images at once, and at the time it wasn't letting me, and I'm not sure if it was just because my computer was being a little slow, but that's kind of why I'm going one by one for now. So I liked this picture of this makeup, and I'm going to include that to a certain degree. And you can rotate these as well. So if you click on the top corner, you can resize things. And you should be able to also erase things. So if you go over to the side, you'll see a couple options here. I'm going to crop layers, and I'm just going to get rid of some stuff that I don't want. I kind of like this particular color, and I kind of like the shape of it, the little cut off here. So I'm going to try to just center it a little bit. And then I'm going to go with that. And once I figure out what I want to include, then I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Now I got rid of everything else, and now I can things if I want. If you go to the top, you should be able to turn it and give it an angle or make it bigger and move it around. So I'm going to try placing it in a couple different ways. You can change the exposure and colors and sharpen it. So if you want to brighten things up, you can. If you want to clone something, you can, and it will give you a second copy, I believe. I don't know if that did what I thought it did, so maybe I'll just go back and undo that. Oh, I see what it did. Okay, so I have two layers up here because as you add new photos, it's going to create a new layer, so you can see which ones you're working with. And if I wanted to adjust this one somehow, like I can go and erase a little bit on it. If you go to where was it? Oh, if you go to erase, you just have to click on the layer. If you go to erase, then it'll give you options for different brushes. I'm gonna get a kind of a smaller one. I'm gonna up the hardness so I have like a sharp edge. And I could round out my corners. It just takes a little bit of steadiness. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna be making a painting out of this. It's not like you're gonna be handing in this collage. So you can kind of make things look a little bit cleaner when you paint it. This is just kind of like our reference point. So I just wanted to round that out. So maybe I would leave that. Now I'm going to apply that. And then I'm going to add another photo because you want at least 3 or so, I would say. So I'm going to add another photo from Google Drive and Classroom. Image collection. And I did put some in here before. We could put in, I'll put in this perfume bottle. So I don't really like the fact that it has this big white box around it. So I'm going to use that erase feature again. Um, oh, I can remove the background here. Maybe that's a pro feature. Yes, it is. So you got to pay for that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to be using this eraser. I'm going to increase the size a little bit to get rid of some of the space around it. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're using this as a reference. You just want to get it close so that you have a good reference. Keep a smaller brush for the spaces close to the edges. Oh my gosh, that was really sloppy. Try to not be as sloppy as that if you can. It was just my computer was laggy and I got a little slippy. Just try to get it as clean as you can. Okay, so now I'm going to take a bigger brush and size that up so that I can get rid of more quickly. This would probably be way easier if I had like a iPad with the pencil because you can get more exact with the pencil. I'm really chopping this apart. Um, okay, so now I'm going to apply that. And maybe I'll put this on an angle and make it smaller. I do want to keep in mind though that when I'm doing this, um, I'm going to eventually be painting this. So I don't want it to be like too many small things. So this one perfume bottle kind of small might be really hard to do. So maybe I'll make it bigger and kind of sneak it up there. And then maybe I'll take this part and bring it down a little bit. Oh, it got cut off over there. Oh man, I'm moving the wrong thing. So this is basically how you're going to make these collages. Um, I'm sure that it got cut off before when I put it up and I applied it, but I could always go back and pick up that image again and reclip it and everything. But you get the idea. You can continue to grab more images and arrange them in different ways. And then when you're happy with it, then I'll just apply this. When you're happy with it, then you will want to save it. And let's see. What I would say to do is to, before saving it, just in case, if you can take a screenshot of it or use your phone to take a picture of it, then that would be great, just in case. You don't want to lose it and then, later on be kind of screwed because you have no reference to work with. Um, so then you can go ahead and download it. Oh, but you need a subscription. So I guess definitely take a picture of it with your phone. And I'm not sure now that I'm looking for it. I'm not sure how I can save it. So definitely make sure to take a picture, either a screenshot or a picture with your phone, and at least you'll have that. And if I can figure out how to save this, then that would be great. I guess I could just send it over to myself via email or not. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of features that you need to pay for. So when all else fails, just take a picture of it using your screenshot feature or your phone. Okay, so that gives you the basic idea of how to do this, and just remember that you want to have some some sort of focal point, and you want to make sure that you have elements around the focal point that are helping to direct the eye there. So in this case, I didn't really focus on that just because I wanted to show you guys the features, but we can play around with that a little bit more in class, and you can always share with your work with me, and we can talk about it and see how it's working out. But that's how you can work the basic features and have fun making your collages. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some really cool stuff out of it.